We've all been there. You're standing in the coffee aisle, staring at the same red or blue canister you've bought for 30 years. It smells like home. It feels safe. But what if I told you that trusted morning ritual is actually one of the dirtiest habits in your life? It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's just cold, hard chemistry. The industrial coffee industry has been quietly cutting corners for decades, soaking your beans in pesticides, mold toxins, and even chemicals used in paint stripper. You think you're drinking just coffee, but you're actually drinking a chemical cocktail that destroys your gut and saps your energy. Today, we're going to fix that. I'm exposing the 5 popular coffee brands you need to stop buying immediately, and revealing the 3 clean, safe alternatives that will actually make you feel good again. Let's get into it. Number 1. Folgers Classic Roast. Let's start with a classic sitting in millions of American kitchens, Folgers. For decades, they've marketed themselves as the quintessential American coffee, the best part of waking up. They bank on deep nostalgia, presenting their red canister as a symbol of comfort and family tradition. It's the coffee your parents drank, maybe even your grandparents, so it feels inherently safe. You see it on the shelf at an unbeatable price and think you're just getting standard no-frills coffee. But the cold reality is that Folgers is one of the worst offenders for chemical contamination. The specific villain here is a barrage of pesticides and agrochemicals. As a mass-market, non-organic product sourced from massive industrial farms, these beans are subjected to heavy spraying to maximize yield. Conventional coffee is one of the most chemically treated crops in the world. These beans are drenched in synthetic fertilizers, herbicides, and insecticides that don't wash off during processing. When you brew that cup, you're extracting those chemical residues right along with the caffeine, compounds flagged for disrupting endocrine function and contributing to long-term health issues. The bottom line, you aren't just drinking coffee, you're drinking the residue of heavy industrial farming. Folgers prioritizes quantity and shelf stability over your health, delivering a chemically laden brew that likely lacks the antioxidant benefits you expect from coffee. Number 2. Maxwell House. Next is another industry giant, Maxwell House. Their slogan, "Good to the last drop," is etched into consumer consciousness. Like Folgers, Maxwell House positions itself as reliable, blue-collar fuel powering the workforce. It's the coffee in diners, office break rooms, and waiting rooms nationwide. We trust it because it's ubiquitous. If everyone drinks it, it must be fine, right? Think again. The specific hidden danger in Maxwell House is ochratoxin A, a mycotoxin produced by mold species like Aspergillus and Penicillium. These thrive in humid, improper storage conditions common in massive supply chains of low-grade coffee. When beans are harvested in bulk and stored in damp silos before roasting, mold easily takes hold. While roasting kills the mold fungus, it doesn't destroy the mycotoxins they leave behind. Ochratoxin A is classified as a possible human carcinogen and is linked to kidney damage and immune system suppression. That bitter or metallic aftertaste you detect in cheap coffee. It's often the taste of stale, low-grade beans compromised by mold growth. What this means for you is that you're drinking mold toxins that survive the roasting process and accumulate in your system with every cup. Number 3. Nescafé Instant Coffee. Moving to a global powerhouse, Nescafé Instant Coffee. This product sells ultimate convenience, a quick energy boost without grinding beans, handling filters, or waiting for a machine. It appeals to busy professionals, travelers, and anyone wanting their caffeine fix immediately. The marketing suggests it's just pure coffee, dehydrated for your ease. It seems like a modern miracle of food science. However, the villain lurking in those crystals is acrylamide. This chemical byproduct forms when starchy foods are roasted or fried at high temperatures. While it exists in all brewed coffee, concentrations are significantly higher in instant coffee, roughly double the levels found in regular brewed coffee. The intense industrial extraction and drying processes used to create instant crystals concentrate this chemical. The EPA classifies acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen. While the direct cancer link in humans isn't definitively proven, here's what we know for certain. Instant coffee contains approximately 358 micrograms per kilogram compared to 179 micrograms in brewed coffee. That's a concentrated dose of a chemical flagged by environmental agencies. The verdict: instant coffee is the fast food of the coffee world. Heavily processed, potentially high in carcinogenic byproducts, and stripped of the natural complexity and benefits of the bean. Why consume concentrated levels of a probable carcinogen when better options exist? Here's a challenge for you all. Drop the name of the coffee brand you've bought most in the past year in the comments below. The brand that gets mentioned most gets a full expose video next. I want to know which one is fooling the most people. Number 4. Green Mountain and most standard K-Cups. Now we address the modern convenience trap. Green Mountain and the entire ecosystem of standard plastic K-Cups. The Keurig revolution changed how millions drink coffee, selling the seductive idea that fresh coffee is just one button press away with zero cleanup. It's framed as the ultimate 21st century luxury, endless variety, perfect portions, no wet grounds to clean up. We're told the plastic is safe, it can handle the heat, and the convenience is worth the price. But the hidden cost here is microplastics and xenoestrogens. When you blast boiling water through a plastic cup and puncture an aluminum lid, you're creating a high-heat chemical reaction chamber. Heat facilitates the leaching of chemicals from plastic, including compounds that act as endocrine disruptors. These chemicals mimic estrogen in the body, leading to hormonal imbalances affecting everything from metabolism to reproductive health. Make no mistake, you're heating plastic to near-boiling temperatures and drinking the runoff. You're essentially brewing plastic tea alongside your coffee. The convenience comes at the unacceptable cost of ingesting microplastics and hormone-disrupting chemicals with every single cup. Number 5. Generic decaf brands and flavored coffees. Finally, let me hit you with perhaps the most tragic deception, covering generic decaf brands and flavored options like those from Dunkin'. People buying these are often trying to be healthy or treating themselves. You're choosing decaf to lower blood pressure or manage anxiety, trusting that decaffeinated simply means the caffeine was removed by water or steam. The dirty secret is methylene chloride, the active ingredient in paint strippers and degreasers. In the European method or direct method of decaffeination, beans are soaked in this harsh chemical solvent, which bonds to caffeine molecules and is then washed away. While the FDA allows trace amounts to remain on beans, health advocates warn there's no safe level for ingesting a carcinogen found in paint stripper. Meanwhile, flavored coffees often rely on propylene glycol, a synthetic solvent used in antifreeze, to bond artificial chemical perfumes to low-quality beans. Don't be fooled. Unless the label explicitly says Swiss water process, you are likely drinking solvent residue. Generic decaf brands are washing your heart-healthy choice in a carcinogenic solvent used to strip paint off walls. I know this feels like a betrayal. We grew up trusting these brands, and finding out they've been cutting corners with our health is overwhelming. You might be wondering, do I have to spend a fortune just to drink a safe cup of coffee? The answer is no. You don't have to buy premium brands to be safe. You just need to know what to look for on the label. However, I know how exhausting it is to stand in the grocery aisle reading tiny print. After my own struggles with acid reflux and crashing energy, I spent months testing different beans to find ones that were actually clean. I found a few companies that aren't just marketing health, but are actually treating coffee like a superfood. These are the specific brands I personally switched to, not because they have fancy packaging, but because they pass the safety tests. Healthy alternative number 1, LifeBoost coffee. If you're looking for coffee that actively heals rather than harms, LifeBoost coffee is one of the absolute best options on the market. They've positioned themselves as the antidote to the toxic mass market industry. Unlike the mold-ridden, pesticide-soaked beans from Folgers or Maxwell House, LifeBoost solves the problem at the source. Their coffee is single origin, shade-grown high in the mountains of Nicaragua and harvested by hand. But let's dig into why this matters for your body, specifically regarding digestion. One of the biggest complaints I hear from people over 50 is that they had to quit coffee because of heartburn or acid reflux. That burn isn't just aging, it's chemistry. Standard mass-market coffee is highly acidic, often clocking in around 4.8 on the pH scale. To a sensitive stomach, that is essentially like drinking battery acid every morning. It strips your gut lining and triggers GERD. LifeBoost is different because it is low acid. By growing the beans in the shade at high altitudes, the maturation process slows down. This natural slowing allows the bean to develop a pH of 6 or higher, which is exponentially gentler on your system. You get the rich flavor without the chemical burn in your chest. Then there is the clean energy factor. Have you ever drank a cup of cheap coffee and felt jittery, anxious, or sweaty 20 minutes later? We assume that's just caffeine, but often that is your body reacting to the mycotoxins. LifeBoost is third-party tested for mycotoxins. They prove their beans are free from the invisible mold spores that trigger inflammation. When you drink clean coffee, the energy feels different. It's sustained, focused, and calm, not frantic. Visually, imagine a forest canopy protecting the coffee cherries. Because birds and local ecology are preserved, natural pest control replaces chemical warfare. This results in a bean that is nutrient-dense, carrying high levels of antioxidants that are usually destroyed in commercial processing. In terms of taste, because there is no bitterness from the acid or chemicals, it is incredibly smooth. So smooth that many people who have used cream and sugar for decades realize they can actually drink this black. Healthy alternative number 2, Kicking Horse coffee. For those who want a robust dark roast that solves the chemical farming problem, Kicking Horse coffee is a fantastic, widely available choice. You can often find this in better grocery stores, meaning you don't always have to order online to be safe. They directly counter the pesticide-heavy practices of the giants by adhering to strict organic standards. There's a common myth that organic coffee is weak or tea-like. Kicking Horse shatters that. They specialize in deep, dark roasts that retain that heavy punch we love, but they do it without the char. This comes down to their roasting location in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. Roasting at high altitude changes the physics of cooking. The beans roast faster at a lower boiling point. This locks in those deep, smoky, chocolatey notes without burning the bean, which is crucial because charred food can contain carcinogens. You get the bold flavor profile, think dark chocolate, malt, and earth, without the burnt, ashy aftertaste of a cheap French roast. Furthermore, let's talk about what fair trade actually means for flavor. We know it means fair wages, which is ethically good, but practically it means quality control. On massive industrial farms like those supplying Folgers, machines strip the coffee trees bare, taking both the ripe red cherries and the unripe green ones. Unripe cherries are bitter and acidic. Kicking Horse relies on farmers who are paid well to hand-pick only the deep red, ripe cherries. You are tasting the difference between a perfectly ripe fruit and a hard, sour, unripe one. That sweetness is natural, not added. If you are a fan of intense coffee, I specifically recommend their Kick-Ass blend or Grizzly Claw. These blends prove that you don't need industrial chemicals to get a strong cup of coffee. It is a bold, clean coffee that supports your health while still waking you up. Healthy alternative number 3, Volcanica coffee. Finally, for my decaf drinkers who were terrified by the paint stripper revelation, Volcanica Coffee's decaf line is your safe haven. They solve the chemical solvent problem entirely by refusing to use chemical stripping methods. Their solution is the Swiss water process. To understand why this is superior, you have to visualize the process. Imagine a spa treatment for your coffee beans. Instead of soaking beans in methylene chloride, the Swiss water process uses pure hot water to create what is called green coffee extract. Through a system of osmosis and carbon filtering, the caffeine molecules are gently drawn out of the bean and trapped in the filter. The flavor oils, the parts that give coffee its aroma and soul, remain inside the bean. Chemical solvents dissolve those oils, which is why generic decaf tastes like brown water. The Swiss water method leaves the flavor architecture intact. This is about reclaiming your evening ritual. I know so many people over 50 who gave up their after-dinner coffee because it ruined their sleep, but they miss the comfort of that warm cup. Or they switched to decaf and stopped enjoying it because it tasted like cardboard. Volcanica allows you to bring that ritual back into your life. You can have that warm, comforting cup at 7 p.m. with your dessert or your spouse, enjoying the full, rich taste of real coffee without the insomnia and without the anxiety of ingesting paint stripper residues. When you see Swiss water process on the label, you know for a fact that no methylene chloride touched your beans. You get the rich, soothing taste of coffee without the caffeine and, most importantly, without the toxins. So, there you have it. The top 5 coffee brands to avoid if you value your long-term health, and the 3 healthy alternatives that deliver on the promise of a clean, energizing morning. Here is the new rule to live by. The certification tells you everything. If you don't see organic or Swiss water process on the bag, you're taking a risk. If the price seems too good to be true, it's because they cut corners on your health. Real coffee, grown with care and processed cleanly, costs a little more. But it is an investment in your body rather than a tax on your liver. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and turn on notifications. Share this video with your friends and family to help them make better choices too. Better coffee means better health. And we're here to make that journey easier for you.